All right, welcome back, everyone. So, for this episode, I am going to be making some press ons for a really good friend of mine. She prefers square nails, and I assure you this will probably be the only time that I do square nails because I am an almond shaped girly probably for life. But she loves square nails, extra short. So, right now, I am putting on a base coat of Rebel Nails Blushed Big, and then the lighter pink one will be also from Rebel Nail and Hijinks. So while I put on the base coat, let's talk about book talk. So I actually finished two books. I finally finished Brimstone by Callie Hart, and my thoughts on it is knowing that it is part of a trilogy and it is the second novel in that trilogy. Overall, it's pretty good. I know a lot of people DNF'd it because, let's just be honest, and I talked about this in previous episodes, the first few chapters, maybe even six, I can't remember, are very slow going. You're just sitting there wondering, okay, where are we going with this? Why are we even working on this? Why would we write another book after the first one, right? So once you get past that, it's not so bad. It gets a little more interesting. There are still a few spots left in the book after that first bit of slump that do get slow again, and it's a little hard to get through, but it's not as long lasting as it is at the beginning of the book. And then by the time you get to the end of the book, I don't want to give any spoilers away in case you haven't read it yet, but by the time you get to the end of the book, you get a good feel of where the story might be going and ending for when the third one comes out, which I think is going to be fairly soon, maybe the beginning of fall this year. I think maybe, I don't know. Don't let me do that. But so overall, knowing that it is a second book in a trilogy, it's really not that bad. It's like a lot of trilogies. I mean, whether it be books or movies, where the second movie or book in a trilogy is kind of seems more like a filler, and that's what this one pretty much is, which is probably why it is a little slower going for a lot of people, and it's kind of hard to get through. But anyways, moving on. So after I read that one, I wanted something light and fluffy, and I picked up My Guide Dog is a Wolf Shifter by Roxy Ray. And I'll be honest, the whole entire reason why I even checked this book out is because of the cover and the title. I didn't even bother reading the synopsis. So I was just like, okay, yeah, that seems like a light and fluffy read, and I kind of needed it after Brimstone. So to my dismay, it wasn't a light and fluffy read. The cover and the title are kind of deceptive. Um, it's it's not completely sad. I mean, both characters had a lot of trauma, and it was mostly them talking about and dealing with said trauma. And there are some moments that are kind of funny and lighthearted, but overall, I was kind of disappointed because I just wasn't expecting it. Maybe I should have read the synopsis. Maybe I should have read the reviews for her picking it up before picking it up. But there you go. Would I read it again? No. Um, if you are looking for a light and fluffy read like I wouldn't get it. But if you are someone that likes to read about characters going through a lot of trauma and dealing with them and coming out the other side of it, yeah, go ahead, go for it. So yeah, so I am my next book. I am hoping for a light and fluffy read, and I went off of what is her name, Darling Desi's recommendation. It's kind of like a throwback to 90s rom-com, but I'll talk about that in the next episode probably. But I'm hoping that this one will be the light and fluffy read I was looking for. So, anyways, back to the nails. On this one, I am just doing polka dots for this nail, and then I'm putting a top coat over it. And the overall theme for this one was pink lemonade nails. My friend, she loves pink, and she liked my fruit nails that I did for my strawberry and peach nails. And so I was thinking, well, I haven't done lemons, and she's not the biggest fan of blue, so I wasn't going to do blueberry lemon. So I was thinking, okay, pink lemonade nails. And I was kind of going with like a vintage vibe for them. And on this one, I am doing little bitty flowers. And I kind of got the idea for like the vintage vibe. I don't know if it's because I was watching Pride and Prejudice again for the billionth time, but I guess, back then during that period, they were really big on their wallpaper. And this stuff kind of ended up reminding me of wallpaper, especially these flowers, these itty bitty flowers that I'm working on here. And I'm using like the smallest dotting tool. And I'm sorry, my fat fingers cover up the majority of what I am doing. So it's kind of hard to see most of the time. But I'm just using like the smallest dotting tool I have in my toolkit and just applying little dots everywhere and basically just doing your basic flowers. Now, I want to be upfront. I'm not the best at flowers, and you'll rarely see me do nails with flowers on them because I just feel like I'm not that great at them. I don't know. Even though the little easy, what I'm doing here, the little polka dot flowers essentially is what you're doing. It's still, I don't know. They still just don't look right to me. So you won't see me do flowers very often. Okay, for this flower, I was going for a tulip. And I don't know, you be the judge. Let me know if you think it ended up looking like a tulip or not. I feel like maybe it sort of resembles a tulip in the end. But, I have watched so many artists who are really good at painting flowers. I, I don't know, maybe I'm having a hard time, like, wrapping my mind around the whole concept of it, but I see them just take, say, one color is white and one color is yellow in this case, just put them next to each other, and they just take their brush and just run them down in between the two colors, and then they just kind of lightly put it on the nail or their canvas, whatever they are painting on, and boom, it looks like a flower petal. Ugh, that's what I tried doing on this one, and I feel like it just kind of looked like a streaky hot mess. It didn't look like a flower petal to me. So once I got all the petals on, I end up going in with my liner brush and just kind of trying to put in more defined lines of color and stuff to try to define the shape more. I don't know, maybe I'm too heavy handed with that brush stroke where it doesn't look like a petal like, these really good floral artists make it look. I don't know. If you guys are good at doing florals, tell me like what you think. Is it my technique? What am I doing wrong? Uh, but again, it's just another reason why I just don't really do flowers. They just they seem like the easiest thing to do, and I don't know. I can't do them very well. I just can't. Even though I love flowers, I would love to have more nails with flowers on them, but yeah, I just don't do them well, and so I just don't really do flowers. I know it's kind of hard to see what I'm doing because it's so tiny and these flowers are so tiny, but right now I am taking that dark green and light green together and painting in the really, really tiny stems for the flowers. And also, I didn't notice this until I started going through editing the videos. I'm so far off into the left side of the video, and I am so sorry for that. I don't know. I just my camera when I'm recording it, the screen goes black to save battery life, and so I don't see. I'm not constantly while I'm painting. I'm not constantly looking back up to see if I'm in frame or not. I don't know how to really get around that. I use my phone for recording, so maybe I should just really start looking into an actual camera, but since I'm just starting out doing this, I don't really want to spend the money on that equipment just yet. So I'm so sorry for going out of frame. I will try to be a little more conscientious about that in future videos. Okay, for these French tips, I am putting in little white flowers with a little bit of green stems or ivy or I don't know what you would call them coming out of them, and they just mirror each other. So I didn't really show the whole process, but you kind of get the picture. Okay, finally to the fun part. Now that the dreadful flowers are out of the way, we are finally starting on some of the lemon nails. This one is going to be one big lemon. And what I first started doing after, you see the stripes that are painted on and stuff, I kind of dotted out where all the placement is going to be. And then I went in with my kind of like connect dots to do the overall shape of the lemon. And I'm doing white, just a very, very thin layer of white with my liner brush. That way that when I go in with the yellow, it pops off some more. And the white kind of helps cover up some of the line of the base work. And I'm so sorry. I think I accidentally stopped recording some of the footage of me starting in with the yellow, but it's just, you're just covering up the white with the yellow now. And as you can see, the yellow really pops off of the nail more with that base coat of white underneath. And here I am, I'm just going in with the yellow, and then I'll go in with some kind of darker jelly yellow and orange and brown to add in the shading and texture of the lemon. Okay, for here, I'm just adding some rhinestone glue, gel glue, to add a little bit of 3D dimension to this large lemon nail. And this is the same thing I did for the big peach nail for my peach nail manis, and I feel like I liked the peach ones better than how this one ended up turning out. If I were to do it over, what I would have done is I would have top coated, and then I would have went in with 3D sculpting gel, and then done the 3D part over that big lemon instead of the steps that I did on this. So, if you want to try to recreate this at some point, that's what I would recommend doing, is just doing the top coat first and then go over with the McCart 3D gel and go over the big lemon. That way it pops some more, the 3D part does. This one ended up being my favorite nail out of the whole set. And it's kind of funny because this one is the one that really looks the most like wallpaper, especially like wallpaper from the 1990s. And I talked about this in the shorts for this one. I feel like I could be wrong. I'd have to go back and look at pictures, but I think my mom had wallpaper that looked almost exactly like this did. But this is just like a cluster of small lemons. And I don't know, I loved how it turned out. It looks very vintage, looks very 90s wallpaper, kind of looks Mediterranean in a way. And anyways, tell me what you think. Did you have wallpaper, or did you ever see wallpaper that kind of looks like this now? Let me know in the comments. Okay, for these last two nails, I'm doing lemon slices. And again, these are going to mirror each other like the French tips mirror each other. And I'm just going in on that on top of the light pink with the yellow, and then I'm going to go in with white to outline the what are they called? The wedges, I guess. No, whatever they are, the detail of the lemon slice. I don't know what those the little segments. Um, to and then I'm going to go in with the 3D sculpting gel and give it texture with some polka dots. Okay, this right here is just a set of cards actually that I bought off of Amazon. And what I'm attaching the nails to are double-sided sticky tape. And if you just like go on Amazon and type in the search bar like double-sided sticky tape for nails, this will pop up. They really hold the nails really well on the card, and they're also easy to pop off of the tape. And here they are, the final nails. Tell me what you guys think in the comments. See you next time.